Good afternoon, everyone. This is BremSter, and you know what really is going to play with my brain? This puzzle, Counting Sum Lines by Jolly Rogers. You'll understand why when I explain the rules. Okay, what do I want to do? I attended PAX over this weekend, and I had a lot of people turn around and say, "Oh, if you want to keep YouTube happy, you need to turn around and say." Okay, everyone, if you like what I do, please like and subscribe. It is very important, and it really helps out with everything I do. If you just give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not. I hate doing that, but I'm going to try and do it more often because apparently it makes a huge difference to both YouTube promoting the content and everything. I really hate doing it. I'll try and keep it short in future, but I am going to try and remember to do it more. And I just wanted to call out why. I was actually, I don't know if you've heard the game Crokinole. If you haven't, look it up. It's really worth watching. I spent a lot of time playing Crokinole. I actually ended up playing some Crokinole with the CEO of Twitch. That was fun. But I also, next to the CEO of Twitch, I don't think we actually played together, but we were chatting for a bit. But I was talking to some people about YouTube and everything, and it's just, this thing is just nuts. But yeah, just letting you know that I'll try and do that more often. But this is me ranting because I hate it, but I'm going to try and do it more often and keep it just a couple of seconds. But let's have a look. I'm also wanting to this puzzle, Counting Sum Lines. So we've all heard of counting circles, which are the number of circles on the grid, blah, blah, blah. This is similar. So we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. The sum of the digits on a line indicates how many lines in the grid sum to that total. So it's the same, but with the sum of the digits on the lines. This is freaky. E.g., if the digits on a line sum to 10, there must be 10 lines which sum to 10. Digits may repeat on a line if allowed by other rules. This is crazy. That's it. That's all of the rules. There's no given digits or anything. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. So we know that the sum of the digits on the line is at least 10 because the minimum I could put on this line would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you add 1, 2, 3, and 4, that's 10. So the sum is at least 10. Well, sorry, there must be at least one set of lines that sums to at least 10. But how many lines are there? One. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14. Is there any line I haven't marked? So there are 14 lines. The minimum I could put onto a line is 3. Because, no, it's 2. This could be a 2 line and this could be a 2 line. So I'm aiming for at least 10, but it has to work similar to the killer concept. So if there was there must be at least, if this was a 10 line, I'd have to have 10 lines that sum to 10. And then I'd have 4 lines left over. Or I could have, if I had 10 lines that sum to 10, there'd be 4 lines that sum to 4. If I had 11, so I've either got 10 lines that sum to 10 and 4 lines that sum to 4, or 10 lines that sum to 10. I can't have any that sum to 1, so I couldn't have sort of 3 that sum to 3. So it'd be 4 that sum to 4, because I couldn't do 3 that sum to 3 and then 1 that sums to 1, because none of these lines could sum to 1. So it'd be 4 that sum to 4. If I did 1 that sums to 11, I could potentially do 3 that sum to 3. If I did 1 that summed to 12, I could do 2 that sum to 2. I can't do 13 because then I'd need 1 that sums to 1, and there's nowhere I could do that because all of the lines are at least 2 cells long. And if I did 14, they'd all have to sum to 14, which is not possible, I don't think. Because how do you sum to 14? Yeah, 14 would break this box because the only way to sum to 14 is 9, 5, and 8, 6 in 2. So I can't have a 14 line. So there's no 14 line, because if I did 14, this had sum to 14, they'd all have to sum to 14, and I can't make all of these sum to 14. I could do 9, 5, I could do 8, 6. The next option would be 7, 7, and it doesn't work. So I don't have 14. I'm actually going to bring up my notepad. So 14 is out. 13 is out because then I need a line that sums to 1. So I'm working with a 12, 11, or 10. If I did a 12, I'd then need 2 that sum to 2. If I did 11, I'd need 3 that sum to 3. Because I couldn't do... Where could I put 3 that sum to 3? I could put 1 there, I could put 1 there, and I could put 1 there. That would work. If I did 10, I could do 2 here and 2 here, but I'd have to do 4 that sum to 4. Because if I did... Oh, sorry, this is breaking me. If I did... I couldn't do 3 and 1 to get to 4. I couldn't do 10 that sum to 10. And then 3 that sum to 3 and 1 that sums to 1. That doesn't work because I can't do a 1 line. And I couldn't do 2 that sum to 2 because then I'd have to do another 2 that sum to 2 and I have 4 that sum to 2. So if I do 10, I have to have 4 that sum to 4. So it's either 12... These are either 12 lines, and then I need to do 2 that sum to 2, which would make all of those 1, because I can't do 2 lines anywhere else. If I did 11 with 3 lines, these would sum to 11. Actually, is there a problem? If these were 12 lines, how would I make those 2? It would put a 1 in the middle, and these would have to sum to 11. Is it that line down the middle? I don't need the yellow. I know I've got 14 lines. How would I do that one down the middle? Because if these were 1s... This would be a 1. The minimum here would be 6. So these would need to sum to 6, but I could just do 3, 3 or 2, 4. This would be a 12 line. Would it be the math in this box? Because these would all sum to 12. These would all sum to 12, which means they would be 36. These would have to sum to 9. And the 1s here would put a 1 here. These would have to sum to 8. That's not a problem, is it? Well, the 12 would be 9, 3, 8, 4, 7, 5. The 1 would be here. And this would be 2 and 6. How do I eliminate options? If this was a 10 line, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4. How do I make that a 10 line? Oh, no, that doesn't work. Because if the... Right, I can't use 10 lines. Because this would be... Wow, this is tricky. These would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Because these couldn't be the 4 lines. These would be 1, 2, 3, 4. These would be 1, 2, 3, 4. What would these be? These would have a minimum of 5. I've already hit 10 on this line. So if these were 10 lines, this line is already at 10 and I've broken it. This line would be higher and I need to make at least, what would this be? This would be a minimum of 16. That doesn't work. So I can't use 10, these can't sum to 10. So that's good. That's really clever. So they can't be 10 lines and 4 lines. So I'm now working with either 12 lines or 11 lines. And I'll bet it's this. I'll bet it's these lines and these lines having to sum to the same, because they do. This line has to sum to the same, because I can't make... Well, which lines can't sum to 2 or 3? This line can't sum to 2 or 3. So that's another blue line. This line can't sum to 2 or 3. That's another blue line. So, but with either 11 or 12, an 11 line would be 1, 2, 3, 5. And that might be a problem as well. Because if these were 1, 2, 3, because I'd have to increase one of the digits on the line by 1. I couldn't increase the 1, 2, or 3, because then I'd end up with duplication. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 5, the only way to make 11. This would be 1, 2, 3, 5, the only way to make 11 in 4 digits. These would both be 4. I'm at 8. And these have a minimum of 1, 2, 3. And 8 plus 6 is not 11. These can't be 11. The lines sum to 12. So, this is a 12 line. And if they're 12 lines, with these, the 12 lines must have 1 and 2 on them. If they don't have 1 and 2 on them, like if I don't put 1 and 2 on it, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 14. Doesn't work. I'm aiming for a 12 line. Wait, I'm aiming for a 12 line. So these are 1s, because I need to get 2 lines to get the count up. But I must have a 1 on it, because 2, 3, 4, 5 is 14. So there is a 1 on this line. There is a 1 on this line. I think these corners are where I want to start. If I don't put a 2 on the line, 1, 3, 4, 5 is 13, but I'm aiming for 12. There must be a 2 on the line, and there must be a 2 on this line. Now, that means the minimum these could be is 3. But because the minimum these can be is 3, 3, 3, and 1, 2, 3 is 12. Because it's 6 plus 6. So these must be 3. The 1 goes in the middle. There's no 1 in those. That's a 2, 3 pair. I can't use a 3 on this line. 1, 2, 4, 5 is 9 plus 3 is the 12 I'm looking at. This is 1, 2. These lines are both 1, 2, 4, 5. That's really cool break-in. And now I've got to get all of the lines, apart from these ones, are 12 lines. All of the lines are 12 lines. There's no 1 in either of those. There's no 1 in either of those. All of the lines are 12 lines. So these... Well, I can't put 6... Well, 1 and 1 is saying 1's not in any of those. I can't put 1 on a 12 line, so that's a 1. I can't, one of them is 9, 3, one of them is 8, 4, one of them is 7, 5. I can't put 2 or 6 on a 12 line. A 6 would need a 6, a 2 would need a 10. These are 2 and 6. This is very cool. Now, minimum here, well, I can't put 6 on this. So it's either 4, 8 or 5, 7. I'm not sure which way. I can't go 6, 6, and I can't do 9, 3 because the 3 is over here. One has taken 1 out of there. One is not here. So 1 has to be in one of those 3, but it has to be on the line. 1 is not here. This is the 1. That puts 1 right here. And that's all of the 1s in the grid. Can I do more with 3? 3 is up here somewhere. 3 on this line would put it with 9. I'm actually not sure how to... I get the feeling it's down here. Like 9 goes with 3, so I can't put 9 in either of those two. Or there. So 3 is in one of those, which puts 9 in one of those. I don't think that's the way to look at this. Every line is a 12 line. The minimum here is 2, 3, 4. Oh, look at that. The minimum here is 2, 3, 4, which sums to 9. So this can't be more than 3. Because if this is a 4, this would have to sum to 8. But in order to keep it down, the minimum it could be is 2, 3, 4. So this has to be 1, 2, or 3 to keep it down. And it can't be 1 or 3. This is a 2. These sum to 10 without using a 1. So the minimum is 2, 3, 4, which is 9. I have to increase one of those digits by 1. The only digit I can increase without causing a digit is the 4 to a 5. This is 2, 3, 5. There's no 2 there. 2 is in one of those two, meaning that's not a 2. There's no 2 here because of the 2 looking down. These are 2, 3, 5. Can I narrow that down? This is a 4, 5 pair. That's a 2. 5 is up here somewhere because 5 is in one of those cells and one of those cells. So I can't put 5 in any of those. So it has to go up there. Oh, look at that. 2 is in one of those two. 2 is in one of those two. I can't put 2 in any of those cells or in any of those cells. And if I put 2 on a 2-cell 12 line, the other digit would be a 10. That is a 2. I take 2 out of there. That becomes a 2. This is a 4, 5. So what can go on this line? It needs to sum to 12. It can be 9, 3. It can't be 8, 4. It can't be 7, 5. And 6, 9 is blatantly ridiculous. That actually becomes the 9, 3. That's cool. These are 6, 7, and 8. I love the way this breaks in. And it wasn't brutal. What amazes me is I was able to figure this out. That's a sign of a good setter. If someone with my math skills can figure it out. So 2 is in one of these. Not sure which line is the most important. Now these are of course 8, 4 and 7, 5. But I'm not seeing a restriction on any of those yet. So pencil marking them... Is it this line? This is a minimum... Actually, yes, it is. Because this is a minimum of 6. Because these are 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 6, 7, 8, or 9. Now, if this is a 9, these would have to sum to 3. And they can't. If this is an 8, these would have to sum to 4. But the minimum they can be is 2 and 3. So it can't be that. If this is a 7, this is 2 and 3. And if it's 6, these have to sum to 6. I couldn't use 1, 5. I could use 2, 4. So this is always a 2 and this is a 3 or a 4. That's cool because that makes that the 3 and that the 2, which takes 2 out of there, making that the 2. 2 is down here. It's in one of those two. 3 is in one of those cells. No, 3 is in one of those two. 3, 9, or that's just 3. That's a 9. Well, that works. Where's 9 in this box? It can't go there. 9 is in one of those two, so 9 is in one of those two. It's not yet enough, is it? I mean, it might be. but I haven't got it yet. The only lines I haven't figured out. So this could be 3, 9. Ah, this 2 is looking down, making that the 6 and that the 2. The 6 looks up, making that the 7. So this is 9. So this is a 3, which takes 3 out of there, making that a 3. Now this sums to 12 without you... well, the 3 makes that the 5 and that the 3. The 5 makes that the 4 and that the 5. So now this is restricted because 5 has to go on this line. So this is the 5, 7, and this is the 4, 8. The 7 is looking down, making that the 5 and that the 7. Oh, this is cool. 7 is not here. This is 6, 8, 9. This is so cool. When I first saw those lines, I was like, this is not going to work. I mean, I knew it was, but I couldn't understand how it was going to have amazingly... Like, I couldn't see how it was going to gel for me. But it's just beautiful. 6 is in one of those two. Okay, 4, 8. So what is it, this line? Or this one? Because this is a triple, 4, 8, 9. That's a 4, that's an 8. And that would be a deadly pattern, but I don't want to use a deadly pattern to solve the puzzle. Not using that. No, it's this 3. That 3 says that's not the 3. That's the 3, so that's the 9, which means that's not the 9. Don't need the deadly pattern. Okay. 3 is right there by Sudoku. So this is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Okay, so if this is a 6, that would have to be a 6. I sense a problem. If this is a 7, this is a 5. If this is a 9, this is a 3. That doesn't work. So this is 7 and 5, and I can take the 7 out of those. The 5, that just works, doesn't it? But it takes the 5 out of there, which takes the 7 out of there. This becomes a 4, 8 pair. The 4, 8 pair takes 8 out of there. How clean is this? Oh, the 2 looks up saying... Let's just take the 2 out of all of those since I got those. So let's not use that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9 go into those. There's no 7 there. There's no 9 there. So 9 is in one of those 2. This 2 says that's not the 2. That's the 2. Got to put an 8 in one of those. These are 6. Oh, no. The 7 makes that the 6. That's the 6. Where's the 7 in this column? That's the 7. That's the 9, which means that's not the 9. That's the 9. This is a 6 or an 8. The 6 makes that the 9, which makes that the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 and 8 go in, and that 4 makes that the 8 and that the 4. This isn't a 6 because of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 go in. The 8 and the 9 already in row 7 makes that the 7, and this is an 8, 9 pair. This is cool. So in this column, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These become 7, 8, 9. There is no 7 there because of that 7. 7 is in one of those 2, but mostly I want to look at this line. 9 would need that to be a 3, because remember, apart from these 2 lines, I'm focusing on 12. Every line is 12. So this can't be a 9 because this can't be a 3. This is 8 and 4. That takes 8 out of those. This becomes 7, 9. Don't have... It's not jumping out at me, but I'll get there. The 8 looks across, making that the 6, which makes that the 8, which looks down, making that the 4, which makes that the 8, which looks up, making that the 4, which makes that the 8, which makes that the 4. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9... The 9 is looking up, making that the 5 and that the 9. Let's play with triples. Everyone likes playing with triples. I'm actually making judgments there I shouldn't make. This can't be a 7 because of that. So is it 4, 5, 6? Yes, this is, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. This is 4, 5, 6, but it can't be a 5. What are these? These are 4, 6, 8. There's no 8 there. This is an 8. This is a 4, 6 pair. Something will get me there. Let's look at this pair. Yeah, that'll give me, yeah, I've got pairs here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 6 and 7. Okay, not necessarily. 5 and 9 go into those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So these are 6, 7, 8 must contain an 8, but there's no 7 in those because of the 7, 9 pair. That's the 6, 8, which is making that the 7 and that the 6, which takes 6 out of there. Oh. Yeah, the 6 looked out, making that the 7, that the 8. The 7 looks across, making that the 9 and that the 7. Just don't look in the right place sometimes. That's the 5, that's the 9. That happens. This is the 4. The 9 is looking down, making that the 8 and that the 9, which looks like making that the 6 and that the 8. That takes 6 out of both of those, making that the 5, making that the 7, making that the 6, which looks across, making that the 4 and that the 6. The 4 looks across, making that the 5 and that the 4. I'm down to 2 possible things left. This is a 5, 6. I'll use that 5 to make that the 6 and that the 5, and that is the correct solution to the puzzle. 117 solves in 112.7 days. Just over 1 solve per day. Let's get that number up, shall we, people? Oh, on that note, if you get this far through, a lot of people post their solve counts with hashtags. So they'll say number with a hashtag and what their solve number is. YouTube hates hashtags in comments. Hates it with a passion. So a lot of the time I will get a summary at the end of the month saying something like 26 videos were blocked because there was a hashtag in a thing, and I don't even get to approve some of them. Some of them come through because it's like something in a lot of context, but if you just post hashtag blah with then a number, it will just assume it's spam. It's someone trying to do something dodgy. So if you're going to do a solve number or anything, just say solve and then your number or something like that. I have no problem you doing it. I have no problem with people posting times. Personally, I don't give a damn about solve times, but a lot of people do. If you want to post those in your comments, go nuts. You are more than welcome to do so. But if you use a hashtag, YouTube is probably going to block your comment. So my recommendation is just do it another way. Hashtagging, it just doesn't like it. Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this puzzle as much as I did. This one was great. Counting Some Lines by Jolly Rogers. Awesome puzzle. I hadn't seen this before. I was nervous about it. I shouldn't have been. This one's great. Thanks everyone. And as always, good luck with your solving.